Good evening, you're watching Estuary TV News. Coming up, an endorsement from thriller author James Patterson aids children's reading in Woodhall Spa. Dan Kemp will be joining me to talk about last week's Tour de Yorkshire. And Helen Barley will be talking about SLE sufferer Tracy Henriksen and the viral Twitter campaign to get Ed Sheeran to sing at her wedding. Welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Richards. First of all, it's over to Emma Lingard for the news headlines.
Hello. The Tour de Yorkshire has been hailed a great success for the region after 1.5 million people lined the roads to watch. 700,000 people turned out during the East Yorkshire stages to watch riders, including Sir Bradley Wiggins, fight for the inaugural trophy. Sheila Finley, the Mayor of Bridlington, was delighted with the event and hopes it'll be bigger next year.
I'm hoping that maybe we will get a finish next year. I mean, it was fantastic to start the whole thing off, the 3 days in Bridlington, and to showcase Bridlington's fantastic beaches, bays, cliffs, etc. But it'd be amazing if next year we could have a finish just for that excitement and see the races come down racing hard.
Hull's New York hotel has been left severely damaged following a fire. Firefighters tackled the blaze, which started around 5:30 Monday evening. The building had been earmarked for demolition after being an eyesore on Allenby Road for years. It's the third derelict building fire in 3 weeks. Hull is gearing up for its VE Day celebrations to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the event. A beacon will be lit in Queen Victoria Square following a silent procession from Trinity Square on Friday. It'll be followed by a street party at Hull History Centre. And there'll be a special screening of the movie A Royal Night Out, which was filmed in the city. The World War II drama is based on the story of Princesses Elizabeth and Margaret celebrating VE Day. The charity gala premiere will take place on May the 15th. And finally, flower arrangers in Scunthorpe and Grimsby were behind a UK-wide campaign to make strangers smile. The National Association of Flower Arrangement Societies left over 60,000 bouquets around the UK. People who found them were able to take them home in the hope a simple bouquet will make a difference to someone's day.
I've got a little tag and it says I'm a lonely bouquet, and then there is a contact email, my email, or a Facebook for either NAFAS or Grimsby Flower Lovers. You can get us on Facebook now or Twitter, and just say where you found the flowers and what you think to them. We want to promote the love of flowers. Flowers are just something that make flower arrangers happy. Florists happy, but flower arrangers are, the art of flower arranging.
That's all for now. Goodbye.
Children like to spend their time sat in front of iPads and games consoles, but the book fair in Woodhall Spa is aiming to encourage more children to read with celebrity endorsement, as Dave Nunn went to find out.
James Patterson is a name synonymous with thriller novels such as Cross, and success after his Guinness World Record for being the first person to sell over 1 million ebooks. But now his name will be synonymous with the book fair in Woodhall Spa after the shop won a grant.
I applied for a James Patterson grant. He's traditionally known as a thriller writer, but he's very good at promoting children's reading. So he put out, I think it's about £500,000 now, in the US and in the United Kingdom, in each country. And we were lucky enough to receive a grant of £2,000. We applied for it. I explained what I wanted to do, and he very kindly has agreed to give us £2,000 to spend on children's reading.
The grant was awarded to the book fair for their desire to help children to read.
Well, I wanted to run children's toddler reading sessions. I'm hoping to use a local theatre company to come in and do sessions where the children get involved and maybe do some craft activities afterwards. I'd also like to set up an older children's reading group, like an adult book club, but with more emphasis on sort of the 10 to 15-year-old readers.
A 2012 report by the Department of Culture, Media and Sport found that 46% of 16 to 24-year-olds don't read for pleasure. Teaching children about reading at an early age could help solve this problem and drag them away from electronic devices, according to Kathy.
Oh, I think it's essential, and I think it's a skill that if they don't have it, then they do suffer in life later on. Not just the ins and outs of, learning their ABCs, but actually enjoying reading, actually being transported to a different world, really. I think that they should be transposed, and not necessarily in an electronic way, which they are sometimes with TV and with electronic games and things like that. But I think it's quite important that they use their own imaginations to take them elsewhere.
You're watching Estuary TV News. A little later, we'll be asking another big question of some little kids, and Dan Kemp will bring you all the sports news. But before he does that, Dan Kemp joins me now to talk about the Tour de Yorkshire. Dan, bonjour, ça va?
Yes.
Good. Okay. How did it go? Long, unfeasibly long bicycle race, tradition that we've borrowed from the French. What on earth were we up to? How did it go?
Well, I suppose it's all harking back to the Tour de France last year, which was in its 100th year, and it started its first 3 days in the United Kingdom. And the first 2 days of that were called the Grand Depart, and they were in Yorkshire.
And Grand Depart is, what's the English for that?
I suppose it's the big leave.
Thank you very much.
Something along those lines, I would have thought.
So last year, the first 3 days of the Tour de France were in Yorkshire, and that seemed, although it's a geographical anomaly, that seemed like a great success. Yes,
it was extremely popular. There were very famous shots now, I suppose, that you'll see of people going up places in Yorkshire, up the hills, Buttertubs Pass in North Yorkshire, I think it is. They just had thousands and thousands of people just lining the route. And I think that's the kind of thing that the Tour de Yorkshire organisers, Welcome to Yorkshire, and Gary Verity, they were the kind of things that they were really trying to hit again and try and tap into that market that was really, I suppose, exploited by the Tour de France, and seen people cycling around the roads now and inspired by it.
Well, inspired by it. So many more cyclists on the roads of Yorkshire now after that. And then this weekend's event was equal success to the Grand Depart?
Well, I wouldn't say equal success, but as you'll hear in our news bulletins, over the 2 days that featured East Yorkshire, there were 700,000 people that actually took to the route. So between Bridlington and Scarborough on day one, which obviously partly in East Yorkshire because of Bridlington,
of course,
that was 250,000 people approximately that lined the route.
Right.
The police anyway.
We have no reason to distrust the police.
No, I trust the police, don't want to put that out there. 450,000 people on day two, which was between Selby and York, which went through Beverley, and that's where I caught my glimpse of the race.
That's where you covered it. And what was it like then? What was the atmosphere? It was all these people out on the streets. It wasn't particularly perfect weather for any sort of sporting event. What was the, to use the French word, ambiance?
Well, I think the weather actually broke at the right time. There were some gaps in the clouds. Just about 12:45 it passed through Beverley, and there were 5 or 6 deep in some places, even more than that, as it went through the bar in Beverley, and it was just extremely popular. There were a lot of businesses out and about, doing food and drinks and things, as well as just the people that have turned up in the Lycra to kind of watch the event and had put in some miles to get there.
People turned up wearing Lycra to watch this thing, did they?
There were people there with the Team Sky and their...
Have you ever worn Lycra?
No, I haven't.
Nor have I. I have absolutely no intention of ever doing so.
Do you think I should start?
No, absolutely not, Dan. Under no circumstances.
Work.
How many people were there actually in the race? How many competitors were there?
I believe it was 144 off the top of my head. And obviously amongst those was Sir Bradley Wiggins, and I think a lot of people had turned out specifically to see him. He started his new team, which made their debut in the Tour of Yorkshire this weekend, called Team Wiggins.
Right.
I think his kind of appeal on the back of the Olympics and becoming the first person to win the Tour de France.
Did you see him?
Did I see him? No, I didn't pick him out at all. I took a few videos as the peloton went past.
I think he's the chap with the sideburns, isn't he?
Yeah, but there was a few too many for me to
spot
him out. Yeah.
What is a peloton?
What is a peloton? That's the main group of riders.
Right.
Nothing more than that. It's not the group. It's not the main group that are leading. It's not the leaders or anything like that. It's just the biggest group of cyclists.
Okay, all right. So that's quite a dangerous position to be in, isn't it? Because I've seen some of the pictures that you've taken and other people have taken on other television channels, bigger than this one, they're not as good. And there are lots of pictures of people falling off.
Yeah, of course it happens. They're all wheel to wheel, bunched in, I suppose 5 or 6 wide. And they're obviously the wheel to the wrenches between them. I have no idea how they do it. I wouldn't want to be doing it, but these are trained professionals. I think we should leave it to them.
What is it about Yorkshire that makes it such a fantastic arena is the word I was going to use, but that's completely the wrong word. A fantastic field for bicycling.
I suppose, firstly, there's the scenery that I suppose gets the people from outside of Yorkshire to see that, and that's what they were trying to exploit, I think, really get people seeing York from a different point of view, with the helicopters going over the top and things like that. But also to cyclists themselves, Yorkshire's quite hilly. It's got the climbs, it's got the challenges that people would want, I think, if they were going on cycling holidays or they wanted to take on routes that were taken on in the Tour de France or Tour of Yorkshire. And I think things like that are really what people, I suppose, buy into, and that's what the economy thrives on as well. People.
Well,
yeah.
You mentioned Gary Verity and the organisation Welcome to Yorkshire, trying to bring people in. What is the economic impact of having a big sporting event? Is that, I mean, it has to be beneficial, doesn't it?
Yes, I would have thought so. I think the fact that they've sold B&Bs that have been sold out, could have been sold out twice over. I went to Bridlington a couple of weeks ago, spoke to a few hotel owners there, and they said, oh, we've got one space left, we've got 2 spaces left. But these were in quite big hotels, and that was still with a few weeks to go.
And you visited
So
a grog shop of some sort as well, didn't you?
A what shop?
A beer shop.
Oh, I did, yes. That was in Beverley last week, called Beer in a Bottle. They've put on a few different beers that they've taken on from different local breweries from around East Yorkshire and Yorkshire as a whole.
Okay, Dan, and well, you need it after a long bicycle ride like that.
I did.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Now, if you can, please try to spot the mistake.
No.
Things change, people change.
Yeah.
That's not even a proper sentence, is it?
No.
It's got no commas in it, it's got no punctuation in it apart from a full stop at the end.
Just the grammar.
Right. Obviously, things change, people change.
Mm-hmm.
That's just life, but you can always change what you don't like. There's supposed to be a comma after like.
Yeah, my husband likes his full stops.
Things change, people change. That's just life, but you can always change what you don't. Like, no point in being unhappy as life is too short.
Full stop, capital letter.
It looks all right.
Is it? That should be being unhappy.
Being, comma.
Not really, no.
Okay, so that's how many grammar and spelling mistakes
Gracious me.
Does that shock you?
Yes. Oh.
Does that shock you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Not really for a Facebook status, no. I thought it was quite good for a Facebook status, in all honesty, yeah.
I wouldn't do that, because I don't use Facebook that much.
Okay.
But then mine would look something more like that.
You're quite good with spelling, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am as well.
Yeah.
Tracy Henriksen has 2 big things going on in her life at the moment. Her wedding this autumn and her successful fight against the cruel disease SLE. Her friends have organised a phenomenal social media campaign to recruit Ed Sheeran as her wedding singer. Bridesmaid Helen Barley is here to explain. Helen.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
This sounds like the most sort of wonderful campaign to bring this poor man kicking and screaming, whether he likes it or not, to come to the wedding.
Absolutely, yeah. That's, you know, if I need to bag him up and tie him up, that's what we'll do. No, we're hopefully not going to go that far. It all started really with Tracy wanted a signed copy of the lyrics to Ed Sheeran's song "Thinking Out Loud." Now, with her illness and everything that's going on at the moment, she's learning to walk again. So the lyrics in the start of the song begin, my legs don't work like they used to before, and you can't sweep me off of my feet. They're very significant to her at the moment. So she messaged Ed Sheeran's management team and said, can you send me a copy of the lyrics, sign them for me so I can give them to my future husband as a wedding present. And that's where she started it off herself. They messaged her back and said, we have requests like this all of the time. I'm really sorry we can't.
Right, that's very miserable of them.
Well, yes. And we thought, well, what can we do? And we didn't tell her. So obviously her mum and her fiancé and me and a lot of her other friends put our heads together and what can we do? Should we start a campaign? Well, why not? What's the worst that can happen? And within 48 hours of creating the hashtag #SingForTracyH, we have over 35,000 tweets. That's in a week. So 35,000 tweets in a week.
Brilliant.
The most retweeted tweet stands at 3,340 tweets, just for one. And we've got over 25,000 members of the Facebook page. And that happened within 48 hours. And it sort of exploded really fast. And we all sort of, oh, we weren't expecting this.
That's absolutely remarkable.
And it's been a huge storm. And I think the main thing for Tracy is that it's keeping her going. It's making her smile. She said to me, I spoke to her yesterday on the phone, and she's very overwhelmed and very, very grateful for even the messages, more so the messages that she's getting from people, whether it be strangers or people she knows. Even people as far away as Canada, America, New Zealand, Cyprus, France.
So pushing for 35,000 tweets, 25,000 Facebook, and it's gone global.
Yes, it has.
Has there been any response, a new response from Ed Sheeran's management?
Not yet. We're still working on that. Now, the wedding's not till October, so my view is we've got plenty of time. We're not panicking too much just yet. We think there's a possibility he has seen the tweets and he's heard the messages. I do know for a fact that his cousin's been we've been in touch with his cousin,
right?
And he said, "I'll pass the message on and I'll text him or whatever." And
so you're
then
you're getting him through family here.
We're
you're
trying.
Ruthless.
Well, you know, friends of friends have maybe said, "Oh, I know somebody who knows him," and we think he's heard our plea. Now, in Tracy's view, whether he can perform or not isn't that's not the main outcome of this. This is just a huge thing that the community's come together to do this for one lovely young lady.
Absolutely. So
really.
it's not a matter of necessarily getting him there on the day.
Which would be perfect.
But
if it doesn't happen, it's still going to be a wonderful wedding day.
And it would still be good if you could get those signed lyrics at the very least.
Or even maybe if you could sing the song for her and put it on CD, because it's going to be their first song and their first dance. So that would be lovely.
Fantastic romantic moment.
She's wanting to sort of raise awareness of the illness as well.
Now, what is this illness?
Now, you have to bear with me because she laughs at me because I can't pronounce it.
Okay.
So, SLE is systematic lupus erythematosus.
Right.
And this affects her nervous system. And it's caused a demyelinating spinal cord lesion. Okay, which is obviously causes transverse myelitis.
You're doing very well.
Sorry, Tracy, if I've pronounced that wrong. And at the moment, and what it does is she has sort of flare-ups, and that causes her to be paralysed. She's actually been paralysed 4 times in the last few years. She became ill when she was 19, got diagnosed with this in 2007, and she's fought against it. She's the biggest fighter. I'm in awe of this woman. I'm absolutely in awe of her.
Well, she sounds fantastic.
She's wonderful. She really is. And so she's in Leeds Hospital at the moment, and just sort of trying to get her legs working and her arms working again. And this campaign is really, I think, just keeping her going and keeping a smile on her face.
I think we've got some pictures of her.
We have. I think we have. Yeah.
To see. Oh, there she is.
Oh, see, she's beautiful. That's her fiancé, Glyn.
Lucky fella.
Yes, and that's her little boy Teddy, he's 2.5.
Right.
So there they are. That's Tracy in hospital. So Teddy goes to visit when he can.
Helen, how can people get in touch? Where is the Facebook page? I suppose they just look up.
It's Facebook. Yeah, it's hashtag Sing for Tracy H.
Sing for Tracy H, and the hashtag Sing for Tracy H, and people can find it on the Facebook page
Facebook
as well.
and Twitter, and
and
we're on there. Message us, do whatever.
Let's all get together and make this man sing.
Let's do it.
Thank you very much, Helen. Thanks very much for coming in. We go over now to Biggin Hill Primary School in Hull to ask if the media is going over the top about this new princess.
We're from Biggin Hill Primary School. This week's question is the media putting too much pressure on our baby?
In a way, yes, because it is a bit like just me when I was a baby, but royalty. But in a way, I think it's not, because it is a part of royalty.
No, not really, because it is a royal and it should be shown to the world, because it's an important part of the world and Britain and things like that. So
I think they're giving too much attention onto the royal baby. It's only a normal baby like everyone else, only it was born in the royal family, and I think that Kate might be having too much pressure onto her.
I think that they have, because if they put loads of cameras in the baby's face when it's born, Kate might have stress because she might get worried about its eyesight.
I do, because it's
it's just a normal baby, and it could affect Kate because I've heard on the news that she's overdue, and that could be the stress that everyone's putting attention onto her, and that she don't really need that much attention because it's only a baby.
I don't think they're giving too much attention to the royal baby because it is part of royalty, and since when the baby grows older, it's going to have a lot of cameras around the family, so it needs to be grown up into a family where there's loads of attention.
And Dan Kemp is back once more with the sports report.
Hull City's Premier League survival remains on a knife edge. The Tigers lost 3-1 at home to Arsenal on Monday evening. The visitors blew City away in the first half thanks to 2 Alexis Sanchez strikes, sandwiching an Aaron Ramsey goal. Stephen Quinn did head the Tigers back into the game before the hour, but couldn't manage to really threaten the FA Cup finalists. Grimsby Town are now 1 game from return to the Football League. The Mariners beat Eastleigh 3-0 on Sunday to qualify for the conference playoff final, thanks to 2 goals from Ollie Palmer and 1 from Linnell John Lewis. The 5-1 aggregate win has set them on a collision course with Bristol Rovers at Wembley on Sunday the 17th of May. And in the final game of the season in League One, Scunthorpe United went down 5-2 to Doncaster Rovers. Nathan Tyson scored a hat-trick for the home side as an Andy Butler own goal and Hakiba Delican strike brought the season to a close for the Iron. Off the field, United have begun to announce the names of players that won't be staying at Glanford Park next season. Longest-serving player Sam Slocum will leave, along with Marcus Williams, Miguel Lera and James Seven, whilst Andy Dawson will join the coaching staff. Elsewhere, North Ferriby United striker Nathan Jarman has left the Villagers after 42 goals in 2 years. In Rugby League, Hull FC have beat a depleted Salford Red Devils squad at the weekend 24-20, whilst Hull KR lost 16-0 to Wigan. And in American football, the Humber Warhawks registered their first points since beginning their inaugural season in the British American Football Association League. They lost 50 points to 16 to the Leeds Bobcats on Sunday at Hellensians Rugby Club. Next up for them is the Sandwell Steelers on the 24th of May. That's all for the sport. Bye for now.
Thanks very much, Dan. That's almost all we have time for. Helen, just a reminder, Tracy Henriksen getting Ed Sheeran to sing at her wedding. Yes. What's the hashtag that people need to go to force this man, whether he wants to or not, to come and sing?
Yes, it's hashtag Sing for Tracy H, all lowercase, all one word. So get on
Helen,
it.
thank you very much. Good luck with that campaign. If you have a story for us, please go to Facebook or Twitter pages. Details on the screen. Email news@estuary.tv or phone Grimsby 35553. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Estuary TV's weather, sponsored by Hornsby's, celebrating 100 years in buses.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Wednesday will be windy with bright or sunny spells and blustery showers, and these perhaps merging to give longer spells of rain, especially in the afternoon and evening. Winds probably easing later with a maximum temperature of 13 degrees. Colder on Thursday with some sunny spells and showers, strong winds easing.
Estuary TV's weather, sponsored by Hornsby's, celebrating 100 years in buses.